Now, it's been almost 2 months since President Matamela Cyril Ramaphosa announced that South Africa would contribute nearly 1,500 soldiers to assist Mozambique against an extremist threat in the northern part of the country. But only a small number of the South African soldiers have set foot in Cabo Delgado province. President Ramaphosa told Parliament recently that the soldiers will be deployed, and he was speaking on the 15th of July, but so far about 200 SANDF members, we understand, are already in Mozambique. Well, to tell us more about this is senior researcher at the Institute for Security Studies Liesl Louw-Vaudran. Liesl, good afternoon. Welcome to the Midday View here on eNCA DSTV Channel 43. I'm wondering, what do you know? What's leading to this delay? Because the SANDF contingent was supposed to be part of the SADC mission in northern Mozambique. Ahead of that SADC mission, we saw 1,000 Rwandan troops on the ground, and they've been doing most of the fighting, according to reports coming out of northern Mozambique, together with Mozambican troops. Why is the majority of the South African contingent not in Cabo Delgado? What do you know?
Good afternoon, Dan. Yes. So the SADC contingent was officially announced and launched on the 9th of August, right? Just after that announcement by President Ramaphosa on the 15th of July. At the moment, there are less than 1,000 troops. So there are 200 South Africans, more or less, 300 from Botswana, some from Lesotho and Tanzania, and a few Angolans. I think about 20 was announced. But almost parallel to this, straight after that mid-July announcement, the Rwandan deployment started. And I mean, it's been noted, and many commentators have said it's almost as if there was no real communication or, coordination with SADC, because the Rwandan deployment, 1,000 troops, now we've heard that it's going to be doubled, almost 1,800. So they have been at the forefront doing a lot of work, getting specifically the insurgents out of this one harbor town, or port town that was very, very important, Mozambique de Praia. And so what I'm saying is the SADC deployment is quite slow, but of course they are adapting and phasing in their deployment with in mind the situation on the ground. Remember, this terror threat we've been talking about for years. We still don't know exactly what are their numbers, who are financing them, what their aims are, etc.
Yeah, I mean, since 2017, that's when the conflict began to escalate. But I mean, just 2 nights ago, I was watching an interview on Mozambique television with Paul Kagame, the president of Rwanda, and he was very clear. He was asked about the SADC mission as well by the Mozambican journalists, and he said, well, Rwanda couldn't just sit and wait while our neighbor and our neighboring country, our friends in Mozambique, their house was on fire. And we are funding this ourselves, and we make no excuses for anybody. Our intention is to get rid of these insurgents. And he claimed that some of them come from Rwanda. They come from other neighboring countries. So one would assume that even SADC is expecting a long-term conflict of sorts.
Yes, it is very interesting, President Kagame's reply basically to people who are saying that Rwanda is being paid for by France or Total, the major investor in the liquid natural gas there, and that they're almost like a mercenary force. And what are they really doing there? Because they are not part of SADC. So he has been engaging quite a lot on that. And as you say, he is now in a way, I would say, projecting this crisis as a East Africa crisis, because he is talking of Rwandans. I saw President Filipe Nyusi of Mozambique also today in a report saying, yes, we know they're Tanzanians, they're Rwandans, etc. From what we know, from the arrests we've seen, they've been mainly Tanzanians. So,
Yeah, but why?
So
why,
you were asking how long.
Yeah, sorry, before that, the conflict, I mean, could go longer. And we spoke about, you and I, a few weeks ago, with the President Ramaphosa saying the Defence Force will be there as part of SADC until October and being funded by at about 984 million rand, just under R1 billion funding for that SANDF component of SADC. But of course, President Kagame of Rwanda said nobody is funding them. They are funding it themselves. If we do not deploy all the 1,495 troops as SANDF, that means logically we don't have to spend that whole 984 million rand. Or am I wrong, Liesl?
Yes, that would be unlikely, I think, and we'd probably be there longer because from what we've seen now on the ground is these insurgents have now left the bases that they had, but there haven't been these major clashes. So where are they? So SADC's job would be then to create sort of a buffer zone southwards. The South Africans are for the moment in Pemba in the south, the Tanzanians and the troops from Lesotho more northwards to sort of contain, the risk of the insurgents emerging elsewhere. But there's also this major humanitarian crisis. And from the one statement from the SADC force, the SAMIM as it's called, we've seen there is an emphasis on humanitarian assistance, which South Africa, the SANDF, as a matter of fact, has done over many years when there were cyclones and so on. So also helping these 800,000 refugees, internally displaced people that are in a dire situation. So we'll have to see if this ends, mid-October. It's highly unlikely, and the money probably will have to be spent.
Okay, thank you very much, Liesl Louw-Vaudran, for your insights there on what's happening in the northern part of Mozambique. She's, of course, a senior researcher at the Institute for Security Studies.